Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our Kindergarten Expo. It's really nice to be around our parents. We've been missing this type of audience with our elementary parents for quite some time. So thank you for being our reintroduction into live action events. At school, this is one of them. So we're excited to have you tonight. My name is Melanie Callender. I'm the Assistant Superintendent, and I have the privilege to serve each one of you and your children here at Warwick School District. This is actually my 21st year of being at Warwick. I started as a teacher and have worked in multiple jobs, and you're gonna get to meet a lot of fun people. So before I do the introduction of our superintendent, I just wanna check. Raise your hand if you're a parent. Okay, yeah, we have a couple of those. Raise your hand if you're a kindergartner coming to school next year. Raise your hand high. I want to see you. Yes. Hi, friends. How are you? Good. Yes, awesome. Well, I want to tell you a little secret. There are real kindergarten teachers here tonight. Like, for real, they're here, and they're going to talk to you in just a little bit. Some of this information is going to be a little boring for you, so your parents might have something else for you to keep your attention. We will come back to you, though, in just a little bit when our kindergarten teachers are talking. Sound good? Okay. I love this feedback. Awesome, everybody. Well, it is my privilege to introduce to you our superintendent, Dr. April Hershey, who has a few words to share with you remotely this evening.
Good evening, Warwick families and Warwick staff. Welcome to the 2022 Kindergarten Expo. And welcome families and students of the class of 2035. Kind of unbelievable, isn't it? Tonight begins a journey for all of you. Some of you have been down this road before, and for others this is your first time. But no worries, we're here to walk this journey with you. Tonight, you'll get to hear some important information about the next steps in enrolling your child in kindergarten for our next school year. You'll get to hear from amazing administrators, terrific support staff members, and some of our most amazing kindergarten teachers. If you have any questions tonight or after this, please reach out to any one of us. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you tonight, but I'm excited to kick off this journey with you. Best wishes for a wonderful evening.
Moving forward, we wanted to let you know who would be speaking this evening. As you can see, we have all of the principals here, minus one who is out ill this evening. And we have a few people who will introduce themselves as we go along, sharing with you their responsibilities as you register your student for kindergarten and enjoy this season. Raise your hand if you're returning parents. See, they survived. So we did okay with them. We are hopeful that you had a great experience so far at Warwick, and we are here tonight to explain what the next steps will be for you and your family. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Kramer.
Good evening. It is so good to be back in person for this event. Last year we just had to do a video and post it on the website, and this is much more fun. But you can tell your friends who couldn't make it tonight, we will be posting this presentation probably in a few days on the kindergarten website, which we'll talk more about here in a little bit. So yeah, 2035, that's crazy, class of 2035. The registration process is the next event that you'll be dealing with here at Warwick. Who is able to register? Basically, the school board policy states that in order to enter kindergarten, the student has to be 5 years old on or before September 15th of that school term. So putting that kind of in simple terms, if your child's birthday is prior to or on 9/15 of 17, they're eligible. If it's 9/16/17, you gotta wait a year. We no longer have an early entrance program if you don't meet the age requirement. Okay, the packet that you got this evening has a lot of information in it for you. Take your time to read through it. It does provide hopefully the answers to a lot of your questions. The packet is kind of set up that the left side is the items you need to read through. The right side are all the forms you need to complete. So again, take some time to do that. The cover letter that's in your packet, you can use as a checklist for the registration process. Everything that's in red, again, we try to make it simple, but I know it's a lot to take on, but use that letter as your checklist before coming to registration. One of the items that you will need to register is proof of birth date. The easiest way to prove that to us is through a birth certificate. We many times run into people who've lost it, maybe they moved, dog ate it, I don't know. But you will need some kind of proof of birth date. If you don't have a birth certificate and your child was born in Pennsylvania, this is information for you. Most states do have a Department of Vital Records, so that should be a place you could start if your child wasn't born in Pennsylvania. We also, if you don't have a birth certificate but you have a passport, that is another allowable form to prove date of birth. So where and when is registration? This is not registration. Some people think it is. You will have to do a little bit more to get your child ready for school in the fall. There is a schedule in your packets. It says important dates, and that does list the where and the when for kindergarten registration. It is held at the Warwick District Office, not at your child's school. Again, that is shown here on the list of important dates. The dates that are listed for each school obviously won't suit all of you, and that is okay. We just do that as a way to sort of divide the population so there isn't long lines waiting to get registered. If you can come to a different building's date, perfectly fine. You don't need permission to do so, just come. Those times are sort of drop-in times. They're not appointments. So you come, we give you a number, you wait your turn, and then you register. We typically have the school nurses at our registration. Not sure that's going to happen this year because of availability, but we will try. That important dates also shows you the other upcoming events that we'll be talking about tonight, the assessments, and the bus orientation and building tour. So I always tell people, put that calendar on your refrigerator. It's something that you'll reference over the next several months. I also just wanted to point out this year, we are using the website as a means to communicate with you. And maybe some of you have already gone to the website. When we sent the postcards, there was a QR code that you could go and complete the initial survey. That website will continue to be updated. As I mentioned, we're going to put this presentation up there. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, there are some resources there for readiness. There are childcare providers resources there. There are the forms that you've all been given, but if people you know did not come, would rather register through electronic means, that is an option. We don't have online registration, but you can fill out the forms and get them to us electronically. So that is an option that's always available to all of you. My business card is in all of your packets. Please feel free. Call us if you have any questions. I have a great team that helps me. You might end up talking to Carol or Rebecca, but we love to answer your questions about kindergarten. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks again for coming. The next person to speak is Mrs. Julie Schutte. She's the school nurse at Bonfield Elementary, but also our district's head nurse.
Hi, welcome. As Jill said, I am the lead nurse of the district, but also at Bonfield. So if you have any questions tonight, feel free to see me afterwards and ask. The primary function of the nursing department is preventative in nature. We do a lot of screenings in there. And we also take care of your child if there's any illness or injury that happens during the school day. If it happens outside of the school day, we really recommend that you see your primary care physician rather than waiting to talk to us in the morning. But like I said, if it happens during the school day, we are there to support. And sometimes when we call, it's not because they're hurt. Everybody hears me call on the phone, this is Mrs. Schutte, the school nurse, and it gets quiet. But we do call to talk and catch up and ask questions. It's not always a scary thing. The big thing I'm here to talk about is immunizations. For registration, you do need a current copy of your child's immunizations. If you have chosen to go the exemption route, we need a copy of your exemptions. We realize that most children get their last 5-year-old vaccines at some point during the summer, some even in the fall. But the state requires you to be able to start, you need your 5-year-old immunizations. So when you come to registration, that does not need to be completed, but just so you know, the next time you see your doctor, if it's over the summer, you will need to complete that prior to school starting. But like I said, for registration, you just need a current copy. I do have a list of sites available in Lancaster County that give free immunizations for those of you who may be like underinsured or have a really high deductible on immunizations. So I'll have that out in the lobby afterwards too, if that's something that you'd be interested in. If you also look in your forms in there, there's a physical and a dental form. Those forms need to be completed after July 1st of 21. Okay, that was last July. So if you have your student going next week for a physical or the World Child Check next week, you can take along the form and that will work for registration. Okay, so anything dated after July 1st of 21. Okay. We have a certified school nurse in each building. So there's always a nurse in your student's building. That's not the case in every district, so that's a neat thing that Warwick has. We do perform the state screenings. Yearly, we do height, weight, and vision on everybody, K through 12. So your children will be getting that at school. We also do scoliosis screenings and hearing screenings in different grades. So they may come home and say, oh, I got my height tested today. But like I said, we do that in every grade. We also create care plans and care for students with special medical needs. If you have your child has a special medical need, make sure when you fill out that health history that you put that in there so that we can give you a call. We'll probably call you later in the summer to discuss that so that we can have everything that your child needs to be able to, the accommodations needed for school. Like I said, we care for students who are ill and injured while they're at school, and we talk about healthy habits. T-zone. If you don't know what the T-zone is right now, you're going to know what the T-zone is next year. But we keep our hands out of our eyes and our nose in our mouth. So that's just some of the things we talk about with the kids. But we have a real fun time learning some healthy habits too. That's about all I have. If you have any questions, like I said, please don't hesitate to ask me. Big thing is we do need immunizations completed by the start of school. Not for registration, but we will need your current your current immunizations. And I get to introduce Mrs. Amy Ballsbach, who's going to talk about kindergarten assessment. And she's at Bonfield.
Hi, it's great to see you this evening. I'm joining you as a first-time kindergarten parent too, so I know you're excited and nervous, and there's a lot that goes into this, but we're excited that you're beginning this journey. When your child comes to kindergarten, we like to know a little bit about them so that we can balance our classes and get to know your kiddo and try and match them with a teacher that would be a best fit. All of our teachers are amazing, but we know that personalities and student mixes are important to know too. So we do kindergarten assessments. We tried something new last year and it worked really well that we are going to continue with this year. So if you participated in the past, this might be slightly different for you. All kindergartners will have the opportunity when you register at the district office to sign up for a 15-minute time slot on either Thursday, June 2nd or Friday, June 3rd. Again, we recognize these dates may not work for 100% of our families, so we will do makeup sessions if we need to, if these dates do not work for you. On these dates, you will come to your school building at your appointment time. And so we love having you in your home building. That's a change so that you can see where your kiddo will be going and see some of the staff from your building. when your child comes for the assessment, we will never tell you, don't send them. That's not what we're doing. We want to see what their strengths are, what their interests are, and how we can help them grow. So we'll do some activities with them. The assessments sometimes change a little bit depending on the year and our circumstances, but often we share a story with them and we see how they respond with their language skills, and we look at their speech skills. We do some fine motor activities, so cutting or coloring, to see their abilities in that area. And then we look at academic readiness. So does your child know their letters? We show them both capital and lowercase letters, as well as numbers. Do they know the difference between a letter and a number, and can they show us and identify what a number is? Can they rote count? Can they show us with a group of objects how many objects are there? And then we talk about letter sounds. A lot of kiddos know that a letter is letter A, but they may not be able to tell us that the A makes the A sound. So we work through that and see if they have any knowledge of the letter sounds. And then sometimes we look at some sight word vocabulary to see if they know any simple words. And then we look at how they play with peers. We have some fun activities that they get to do, and we look to see how they interact socially. So it's actually really fun, and most kiddos love coming, and it lets us meet them, and we are excited for them to be in the home building to do this. We do give you feedback from that assessment so you can see areas of strength for your child, and if there's areas they might be able to work on over the summer, then you know that too, so that maybe you can practice writing their name over the summer if that's an area they need to work on, or recognizing letters, things like that. The other reason we do the assessment is we have an awesome pre-K summer program that we have done for the last several years, and it has been very, very successful. So this summer, it will be a 4-week program that is designed to prepare children for kindergarten. And it is needs-based, meaning we look at the data, and for kiddos who maybe need a little bit of extra practice so that they're really ready to rock when they come into kindergarten, we invite them to this program. The program will start on July 11th and end on August 4th, and it's a Monday through Thursday invitation-only program. And there's a morning session and an afternoon session. There's 2 different classes. So we don't have sessions on Fridays. So after we have assessments, we look across the district and we send invitations out to kiddos that we think would benefit from this opportunity. And there are a limited number of openings. So if you get an invitation, please RSVP right away so that you get your spot and your child can participate. It's really, really fun. This summer, the program will be held at Kissel Hill Elementary, so you would drop your child off and pick them up there. A confirmation letter will be sent to you after you confirm that your child will attend if they've been invited. And throughout the program, it's, again, very play-based. It helps them just learn what is school about. How do we sit? How do we listen? How do we interact? But we also introduce early reading and writing skills, listening and speaking skills, logical thinking, learning and problem solving, the fine motor skills, working with Play-Doh, working with magnetic letters, whiteboards, all kinds of things like that. And then social emotional readiness, so some recess on the playground, some games with peers, how do we share, some of those early skills. And the really amazing thing about this program is often if a student has needed it and they get this program, they come to kindergarten and they don't need intervention sometimes when they get there because they've mastered those skills that might have needed a little bit of extra support. So it's a really nice way to booster a student prior to coming to kindergarten if you're able to send your student. So again, on average, kiddos who come enter kindergarten at their benchmark or above, at that level that we expect those levels for letters and sounds to be, which is pretty exciting. So now, I know some of you are super excited to see a real-life kindergarten teacher. So I actually have 2 of them to introduce you to. So tonight, Mrs. Bowser and Mrs. Shepherd from Kissel Hill are going to talk to you about what kindergarten looks like.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for coming. And thank you to all the soon-to-be kindergartners for coming tonight. It's exciting to see you here. I want to talk to you just for a little bit about a typical day in kindergarten. A typical day in kindergarten is actually very fast. The whole day goes very fast, and it's full of a lot, just plentiful amount of engaging activities. So we begin our day with our opening activities, which include attendance, a weather chart, calendar, pledge of allegiance, a morning message, which is a great time when we meet on the carpet and we talk about the details of the day, what's going to happen, what they'll learn about, what their special is, and also a read aloud. So a big book that we'll enjoy together. The opening activities are very important because they begin our day together. So every day we start with the same opening activities, and this provides comfort and security to the kindergartners. They know what the morning looks like, and then we talk about the rest of the day. Then we move into our language arts or core curriculum activities, which include phonics and phonemic awareness. And the phonemic awareness activities are all those things that you do that involve sounds when you play games with sounds. So talking about beginning and middle and ending sounds, talking about rhyming words, segmenting and blending, all those activities. We might do some writing activities together. The children have their own journals, so they begin at the beginning of the year with just drawing pictures, and some of them are ready to try to sound out some words, some are writing sentences, but that's very differentiated, and they can just really enjoy that time with their journal. Then we move into center activities or small group activities. These can look different on different days. So some of those activities might be language arts activities, some might be math, and some might be fine motor. So your student working on their muscles in their hands, trying to get those stronger to be able to form letters correctly. After that, we move to the cafeteria for a 30-minute lunch. And there's always a lot of helpers in there to help your students to open those little things they need opened, or thermoses, things like that. After that, we have a digital discovery curriculum, and every day in the afternoon, your child will be working on their iPad, and they'll have some type of assigned activity, or perhaps an activity with the teacher as well, that we'll do together on their iPad. Then they'll have a special, so they have one special per day, which would either be library, art, physical education, or music. And after that, we still have a little bit of time left, so we have a math activity or content activity or another language arts activity. And at the end of the day, we come together, again on the carpet, and we talk about our day. And we talk about things maybe that were easy, things that were hard, goals that we had for the day, something they loved about their day, something that was fun. And then hopefully they remember some of those things so that when they come home to you and you say, wow, how was your day? And you say, great, or good, or fun. And you say, well, what did you do? That they don't say, yeah,
Play.
lunch.
Play.
They usually say lunch. Lunch or recess, but we try to provide them with, really having something there that they can come home and tell you that they learned or they worked on. And that's pretty much a typical day. It is jam-packed, and we are having fun all day. They don't realize a lot of the times that they're just learning and working every moment, but they're having a great time.
Okay, well, that was a lot to hear about in a kindergarten day. And kindergartners, you have been sitting so nicely, so you need to stand up right at your spot. This time we want to talk right to you and see if you are ready for all the fun of kindergarten. So I'm going to ask, and if you are ready, you're going to say, oh yeah! Are you ready? Okay, here it is. How many of you are ready to come to kindergarten and meet lots of new friends? Are you ready?
Oh, I hear it. Go ahead, say it.
Oh yeah! How many of you love to read books? Ready? Oh yeah! How many of you love to sing songs? Do you love it? There's a couple. Oh, I need to hear you. There's not many. You gotta be really loud. You ready? Oh yeah. How many of you like to use an iPad? Are you ready to use them in kindergarten? Oh yeah! How many of you are ready to learn how to read words all by yourselves? Ready? Oh yeah! And do lots of math. Are you ready? Oh yeah! Kindergartners, we are going to have so much fun. How many of you are ready to be kindergartners? Ready? Really loud. Oh yeah! Oh, good job. Let me tell you about your first day. Your first day, you get to bring a special adult. Just in case, I know you're ready, you told me, but just in case you're a little nervous, your first day of kindergarten is going to be in a small group with your adult. So when you come in on our very first day, which was tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 30th, you get to come in a small group with mommy or daddy or an adult, and you get to meet some friends. Mom and dad get to do lots of paperwork, and we get to play a little bit. We get to learn a song usually, we read a book. We talk about all the things we're going to learn together, so that when you come your very first day, that next day, Wednesday the 31st, you're going to already have friends, and you're already going to know where your room is, and you're already going to know your teacher. You're going to be like a professional already, so that you can come in there ready to learn and smiling and say, "Bye, Mom, see you later. I can't wait to tell you what I learned." Okay? Moms and dads, you are going to get information about signing up for that conference time. You will have an assigned block. You need to come with them. It's not for the entire day. About, 45 minutes? 45 minutes that you'll be in there. And I'll keep going. We also offer a half-day waiver. The half-day waiver is available to you. You would have to sign up for that in May when you do your registration. That is for children who would like to spend the morning with us. So you would stay for the AM session. The AM session is when we get the bulk of our academics done. So they would be there for that, and then they would go home at the half-day mark. And then they would miss the PM session where we typically do our specials and our centers and that social time. But this is something that is offered. There is, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the children, you can change that through your mind later on, but we ask that you do that in May when you register them. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Soul, the principal of Excel.
How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming out. I'm Jason Soul. I am the principal at Lidditz Elementary School. I am also fairly new, starting out this school year, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity to lead at Lidditz L. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the parent-teacher organization. It's an opportunity really for you to really get involved in your child's school, for you to kind of have a say as to what events might be unfolding for your child. And I want to put up here the contact individuals that you would be looking to touch base with if you are interested in joining this organization. This organization does meet monthly, and through that they do assemble a team of parents collectively that really try to extend opportunities to the parents and to the children and really bridge that gap between the home and the school. It's an opportunity for the parents to really have a sounding board and also a collaborative effort put forth and opportunities for parents to mingle and touch base and to establish friendships that will last throughout their child's educational career. So just to look out there, how many parents are ready to do this? Let me hear you say, "Oh yeah?" All right, good, that's it. All right, so with that said, I do want to just point out the names here again if you are interested in joining your child's PTO at your child's school. There are links on the Warwick webpage for each individual school there that you can go ahead and tap into. We do look forward and encourage you to take this opportunity to really kind of enhance your child's learning opportunities in their school. I'd like to introduce Heather Bellows, who will talk to you a little bit about student services here at Warwick.
Thank you, Mr. Soul. I'm Heather Bellows. I'm the Assistant Coordinator of Student Services. This is my first year in this role, and I'm really excited to start on this journey with our families who have students that are in need of student services. Dr. Juliet Ashton is also our other coordinator of student services, so some of you may have gotten to know her in the past, and may work with her again as we move forward in the future. In terms of student services, we do offer a whole continuum of services to students who are in need of special education in Warwick. Some of the support services that are available to students who have already been evaluated and are eligible includes speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, academic support, and behavioral support. If your child is already evaluated and is receiving services through IU early intervention, we would hold transition meetings. We can expect those meetings to be held in January or February. We actually have our first round of meetings coming up next week. Those meetings were scheduled by the IU, so you should have received that information. I will stay around after the presentation, so if any of you have not heard from the IU and would like to talk to me, I can check to see when your scheduled time would be. When you do come to those meetings, this year, the majority of them are going to be held virtually. So if you could please complete your enrollment paperwork prior to the time when we meet, that would be helpful. We can go over some of that paperwork at that time, and then you can either send the paperwork to me electronically, or we would be able to figure out a time at our virtual meeting for you to drop the paperwork off at the district office. The sooner we can get your child entered into the system, the sooner we would be able to begin the process with the paperwork. If you're not already familiar with the IU Early Intervention Program, they do offer supports and services to children from ages 3 to 5 who have disabilities and may be in need of specially designed instruction. For students who are evaluated and are determined to be eligible, an individualized education program is developed, and through that program, appropriate supports and services are determined. Early intervention services need to be delivered in a setting that's consistent with the educational needs of the child. So those services could be provided in settings that it's not limited to, but in their current child care center. It could be in a community preschool, in Head Start program, in a specialized setting, or even in your home. There is no cost to families or caregivers for early intervention screenings, evaluations, or services. So if you think that your child might be in need of early intervention services and you haven't gone through this process already, you can call the IU referral hotline. That number is listed up there on the screen. And again, I'll stay behind after the presentation is over if anyone would like to talk to me. And at this point, I would like to introduce to you Mrs. Lisa Bonfield. She's going to talk about kindergarten building tours and bus orientation.
They put me here in the show because the show. I am the show. No, I'm just joking. Usually because about this time they have thrown so much information at you that you start to gloss over. So I try to add a little humor while we do this. I'm here to talk to you tonight about kindergarten bus tour and the bus eligibility orientation. Other arrow. Okay. So there's a bus orientation held at each of the elementary schools. They're listed behind me, so if you want to save the date down, put that in your phone or put that on your calendar. What that entails is that you come to the school. As parents, you go into the cafeteria or whatever designated area they have, and you talk with our district coordinator, transportation coordinator, learn a little bit about how the bus stuff works. In the meantime, the principal of the building, and however many kindergartners there are, sometimes 75, get on a bus and go for a ride, okay? It truly is one of my favorite days. People say, are you crazy? Yeah, a little bit. But just know that we get on the bus, we take a ride to a local, it's usually a parking lot at a church. We get out and practice safety rules. We talk about how do you sit on a bus, keeping your hands and feet to yourself, using the inside voice. We get there, we practice getting off, and when the bus arm comes and the lights flash and all that fun stuff. Just know that when kids get on a bus, I don't know what happens, but they feel like they need to tell me their life story. And yours. So if there's anything you don't want them to say, you may want to rehearse that before they get on the bus, okay? Some think it's like a big truck ride, some think it's like a roller coaster. It really is fun. It's one of my favorite days. And this is bittersweet because although I'm standing here telling you about it, this will be my last year as principal at John Beck. So I will not be riding the bus this year, unless they call me back as reinforcement, which could happen. But like I said, here are the dates for the bus orientation. If you're on vacation one of these weeks, that's okay. All you need to do is call another school and say, hey, I missed the bus orientation at John Beck. Is it okay if I take the bus ride at Bonfield? What we do is we do all of the same kinds of things. We practice the same safety rules, that kind of thing. So I don't want you to feel left out, okay? Some students are eligible for transportation by bus. Typically, students outside of a 1-mile radius of their home or bus to school. Each has drop-off areas for parents, and more information regarding your child's bus, that kind of thing, will come closer to the start of school, typically about 2 weeks before school starts. Just know, this is very important, there must be an adult at the bus stop for your kindergartner. If yours not an adult there, and we got to drop your kindergarten student off, they will bring them back to school. Unless they have an older sibling, okay? But if not, and by older, I don't mean like half a year older. I just want to make that clear. They need to be significantly older in order for us to release them to that student to get them home. Otherwise, like I said, they'll come back to school and we'll be calling you saying, little Johnny is here at school, can somebody come pick him up? But somebody has to be at that bus stop for their safety, okay? There is a transportation request form that's yellow. It should be found in your packet, and it needs to be completed by July 20th. We don't do like, your schedule has to be consistent. It can't be this week I'm going to go here, and next week I'm going to be here, and next week, that doesn't fly, okay? So please make sure that you have that form filled out by July 20th and that you have a plan. Just a couple of things. If you choose a half-day waiver program, you are responsible for transportation midday, okay? We transport to and from, but not in the middle of the day, okay? And again, like I said, your information regarding your child's bus stop and pickup and drop-off times will be online about 2 weeks before school starts. Our school transportation coordinator is so busy, and I am amazed at everything she does in coordinating all of the stops and the travels and that kind of thing around the community. So just be patient for that information, okay? All right, one more thing before I hit this. And they all look at me because they go, oh no, what is she gonna say? The tone you set for your child in the morning, that first day of school, is how your child is gonna do that morning on that bus. So, I'm gonna say something that Dr. Callender hates. I say, cut the umbilical cord now, okay? Put a smile on your face. If you're wearing masks, pull it down, smile. Tell them they're gonna have an awesome day at kindergarten, right, kindergartners? Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that it's an emotional time. There are some parents who can't wait for this day to put their kids on the bus. Trust me, I was one of those. I lost my Mother of the Year award. And then there are parents who are very emotional. It's hard. It is a hard time to put your baby on a bus for the first time. Smile, turn, walk away, and you can cry all the way home. But do not show that to them. They can be strong. They're going to get on that bus. They're going to have an awesome day, and they're going to have a fantastic time. But I know, I'm looking at this mom right now, and you're saying this is going to be her, right? You stay at home. You let him put the kid on the bus, okay? It really is true. If they see you're crying, they're going to cry. And I know, again, that it's emotional. I've lived this, okay? You can tell that the tender, loving care mother, right? But in any event, please just put on your happy face, get them on the bus. They're going to have an awesome day, and you'll be amazed. Typically, I get probably 10 phone calls the first day of school of kindergarten parents saying, okay, they're really crying on the bus. Are they okay? I'm like, you would never know. By the time they get to school and walk in the doors, they're fine. If there's a problem, we'll call you, but there's not going to be, okay? So I know this is tough. Just be happy, smile, and like I said, go for coffee afterwards, do whatever you need to do to cope, but it's going to be okay, all right? This video kind of depicts that.
Excited for your first day?
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
You'll be fine, okay? I'm overprotective. That's why I got a Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
I do not get kickbacks from Subaru for that. But it really is true. Once your kid gets on the bus, they'll do fine. They'll do great. They're going to have an awesome first day of school. And we really do look forward to having them. If you have any questions about transportation, oh, it was so good. It's going to come on a second. Please don't hesitate to call us. Sarah Dunbach is our transportation coordinator, but again, we appreciate your patience in waiting until about 2 weeks before school to get all of that information, so it gives her time. Okay? You're going to do awesome as parents in putting your kids on the bus, I know. And now I'd like to introduce Stacy Uninger. We also offer a pre-kindergarten program, and she's here with Poppy.
Hello again. I'm here with Mrs. Uninger, who is our pre-kindergarten teacher. We opened a program this school year for ages 3 and 4-year-olds to come to school. And it has been an awesome program, right?
Amazing.
And Turk is her handy assistant.
Well, he doesn't come in too much. He's a little too distracting for the little ones.
But we do have a facility dog at each one of our elementary schools, our middle school, and our high school, and Turk serves at Kissel Hill. You also met Carly this evening at Bonfield. She was out in the lobby earlier, so we do have 2 of the facility dogs here. Hey, kindergartners, are you excited to see our facility dogs? Oh yeah, that's right. And you can see Turk does a great job. So our pre-kindergarten program is new. We have had quite an adventure this year learning so much about offering school-age programming to youngsters. It is our district-wide program, so all students in the district are eligible, but it is held at Kissel Hill Elementary School. Transportation is provided. The eligibility for pre-K comes on a few characteristics. One is income, the second one is age, and then other risk factors. And so we're looking for the students here at Warwick who may need that extra boost to get ready and prepared for their kindergarten year. And we know that these young minds mold and shape very easily, as you have discovered parenting them over the past few years. They just grow leaps and bounds so very quickly. So offering this program is such a great boost to our students and our parents. The application is available through the enrollment office. It's a half-day program. We have AM and PM sessions. We do include breakfast and lunch for those students who are there for the morning, and lunch for students who are there in the afternoon. We offer parent sessions on a monthly basis to get to know you a little bit better and your family, and also for you to get to know us a little bit better about what we do at Warwick and services that we can provide. They give great helpful tips and parenting support as well. Anything you want to mention?
I just want to say that it's a fantastic program. We have 3 main goals this year. One is the social piece, and a lot of that comes through the breakfast and the lunch that we have. We do so much talking and conversation with these kiddos. It's amazing, the stuff that they're talking about and connecting with each other. Another big piece is that fine motor piece that you've heard about before. We are coloring, cutting, tearing paper, something every day, just creating with all those different tools to strengthen our hands so that when they get to kindergarten, they are ready to go. And then the other piece is the phonological piece, which is actually a precursor to what Mrs. Bowser talked about, phonemic awareness. The phonological piece is all through auditory and listening. So while they are writing the sounds in kindergarten, we're doing it all through I say, you say. It's all listening. We've got some rhymers. We've got some kids that can blend and segment sounds and words. It's truly amazing what these little kiddos are picking up on this year.
Thank you, Mrs. Uninger. And thank you, Turk. All right, just a few last reminders. You're almost finished here. Students who enroll with us at Warwick and enter kindergarten, so if you start day 1, some of you will explore this as a possibility, but you're not sure if you want to have them enroll this year or not. Students do not need to be enrolled in kindergarten until they're age 6. Then it's mandatory that they are enrolled in school. But once you start, you must continue to be in an educational program. So once you make the decision and they enter the first day, they have to continue or be in another educational program. They can't just drop back out. We do utilize paperless communication, and you will get a lot of emails from us. So I'm just warning you ahead of time that when you give us your email address, we do plan to use it. You will get Wednesday information from us about Warwick, and on Fridays you'll get flyers from our greater community that are approved through the district to share with you. So you'll get lots of information from us. Just be ready for that. If you do not have an email address, you can be signed up at your building for paper copies for those instead of emails, but that's reserved only for people without email addresses. So why is this called the Kindergarten Expo? Because we reach out to our community pre-kindergarten and kindergarten programs, and also what we call our partner programs, and we ask them to come here tonight so that you can gather information on, hey, I might need a before school program. What's available to me? Or I might need an after school program. What's available to me? So we will have a few people out in the lobby who are very excited to speak with you. We have Greenhouse Kids, Lidditz Christian Early Learning Center, and Lidditz Rec Center programs represented out in the lobby. They are at tables and they'll be happy to share information with you immediately following this event. We do hope that it was informative for you to come tonight and that you learned a little bit more about the process and what kindergarten looks like. This is the end of our program, but if you have additional questions, you can reach out to anybody that you heard from tonight. We're happy to answer your questions, or you can stop by and visit us immediately following this activity. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. It's great to see you all, and welcome to kindergarten. Bye, friends.